our beautiful souls. Welcome to Soul Level Presence from the Ethers. I'm Eli Matthews, your host on this deep dive into the hidden currents guiding your decisions. Have you ever experienced that tense internal tug, the one that makes it feel impossible to say no? It's not that you don't want to choose, it's like you simply can't. Ever felt like you're unable to fully think for yourself, as if some unseen force has subtly taken control? Today, we're shining a light on these invisible puppet strings, the ones that quietly shape our lives, influence our choices, and block our true voice. Together, we're going to untangle the threads that keep us trapped, cut the cords, and reclaim the freedom and clarity we deserve. So get comfy, breathe deep, and let's dive into this powerful journey back to your sovereign self. Have you ever felt that invisible tug, that emotional pressure to say yes when deep down your soul is screaming no? It's like this tightening knot in your stomach, a wave of anxiety and guilt washing over you the moment you realize you're about to disappoint someone else. You brace yourself, not against their reaction, but against your own inner voice whispering, "You're selfish for even thinking about yourself." And it doesn't stop there. There's that constant, lurking fear of rejection, abandonment, or the haunting thought that maybe, just maybe, you're not good enough unless you're doing exactly what others expect of you. It's as if this unseen force has quietly wrapped itself around your decisions, pulling your strings to keep you in an endless loop of sacrificing your peace for their comfort. And let's get brutally honest here. For some, these invisible strings aren't just emotional pressures. They're a form of mental control, embedded deeply through abuse. There are people who literally aren't allowed to think for themselves without facing severe emotional, psychological, or even physical consequences. They've been systematically trained, conditioned to surrender their independent thoughts entirely. And that's one of the most powerful and real invisible strings of all. It's no wonder we feel trapped. From childhood, many of us are conditioned, subtly or overtly, to believe that prioritizing our own needs is selfish, even dangerous. We're taught that thinking freely and independently is somehow threatening, something to be punished or rejected. Over time, we internalize these beliefs until we don't even notice the strings. They just become part of who we think we are. But here's the secret. Those invisible strings are not real. They're stories, patterns, and beliefs that we've absorbed but didn't author. And the moment we truly see them is the moment we start to loosen their grip and reclaim our power. So let's talk about those invisible strings that seem to hold us back. We all have them, guilt and fear. Imagine them as the twin shadows that follow us around, silently guiding our decisions and actions without us even realizing it. Guilt creeps in from past experiences, whispering, "You're not good enough," or "You should have done better." And fear, well, it's the master of disguise, disguising itself as caution, but really just holding us back from taking risks and pursuing our dreams, especially if the fear comes from an external abusive source. But here's the thing. These twin shadows are not as powerful as they seem. Sure, they might tug at those invisible strings, but we have the power to cut them loose. It starts with unpacking them, examining their grip on us, and understanding that they don't define us. Guilt and fear thrive in darkness and secrecy, but when we bring them into the light, they lose their power. Talk about them, share your experiences with trusted friends or a mentor, and realize that you're not alone in feeling this way. It's also important to challenge those negative voices in your head. When guilt tells you that you're not good enough, remind yourself of your successes and strengths. And when fear tries to steer you away from a new opportunity, acknowledge it, but take the leap anyway. Breaking free from these invisible strings takes time and effort, but with self-awareness, mindset shifts, and support, you can loosen their grip and step into a brighter, more empowered future. So let's start cutting those strings and moving forward with courage and confidence. So, where does all this inner turmoil really come from? How did we get entangled in these invisible strings that dictate our thoughts, choices, and actions without our conscious permission? It often starts right at home, in childhood dynamics we never chose but learned to survive. Maybe you were always the caretaker, the responsible one expected to hold everything together. Perhaps you became the people pleaser, trained to believe that love or acceptance required you to say yes, even at the expense of your own needs. Or maybe you were punished, subtly or overtly, every time you tried to establish a boundary or speak your truth. Then there's that quiet, insidious manipulation, wrapped in seemingly harmless phrases that eroded your sense of self. Don't make waves. Just be nice. You owe me. These phrases aren't innocent, they're strings in disguise, tools of subtle control that slowly shape you into someone more compliant, less yourself. And let's not forget the heavy chains of religious, cultural, or family guilt, especially when love was conditional. When affection, attention, and approval depended entirely on your obedience, compliance, or performance, you internalized that your authentic voice and genuine desires were dangerous, even unacceptable. At its deepest, this conditioning can come from direct abuse, moments that taught you to fear your own instincts and choices. Complex trauma forms here, a dense web of experiences that twists how you see yourself and your place in the world, leaving you second-guessing every thought, decision, and feeling. These roots run deep, but knowing they exist gives you the power to begin untangling them. Awareness is the first step towards freedom. Keep listening. Together, we'll dive deeper into breaking free from these invisible strings and stepping back into your own power. Have you ever experienced that emotional pressure to say yes, even when every cell in your body is silently screaming no? It feels like a crushing weight on your chest, making each breath tight, restricted, almost painful. And when you finally gather enough courage to say no, you're immediately flooded with anxiety, as if you've just shattered someone's expectations. It's that stubborn knot in your stomach, tightening, twisting, refusing to let go. Then there's that relentless internal voice whispering accusations. You're being selfish, you're disappointing everyone, you're letting them down. It's a constant, exhausting tug of war between what you genuinely want and the weight of expectations you've internalized from everyone around you. From my own personal experience with CPTSD, this sensation isn't just emotional, it's visceral. It literally feels like there's a puppet master guiding every single one of your movements, pulling strings you can't even see. And the moment you even think of resisting or breaking free, an intense, overwhelming fear rises within you. Fear not just of emotional rejection, but of actual physical pain, as if the strings tighten around your body, forcing you back into submission. It's real, tangible, and absolutely terrifying. Beneath it all simmers a persistent fear of rejection, abandonment, and the haunting possibility of not being good enough. It's like tiptoeing across a fragile glass floor, holding your breath, always terrified that one wrong step will shatter everything beneath you. These invisible chains can be suffocating, locking you in cycles of self-doubt, insecurity, and confusion about who you really are. They hold you captive in a prison no one else can see, but that you can deeply feel. But here's the truth you need to hear clearly today. You are not bound forever. Recognizing these chains is your first step toward freedom. You have the strength, the power, and the absolute right to reclaim control over your own life. So, let's dive into the real, lasting damage these invisible strings do to your soul. You might find yourself caught in a cycle of chronic fatigue, as though you're constantly dragging the heavy weight of everyone else's needs and expectations around with you. It's exhausting, mentally, physically, emotionally, to live day after day under the shadow of fear, pressure, and demands that aren't yours. Resentment creeps in, slowly at first, but eventually it boils beneath the surface as hopelessness sets in. You wake up one day realizing that you barely recognize yourself anymore, because the life you're living isn't yours at all. It's an identity created by someone else's demands, expectations, or manipulation. It's as if the essence of who you truly are has been overshadowed, even erased, by the constant pressure to become who they need you to be. Then comes the numbness, the emotional void. After years of being pulled in countless directions, you begin to disconnect from your own emotions. You start to question whether what you're feeling is even normal or permissible. You live life through a haze, detached from the richness, joy, and depth your soul naturally craves. In my own experience, that numbness was so profound, I wondered if I'd ever genuinely feel anything again, much less trust that those feelings were valid or allowed. Perhaps most devastating is the profound loss of identity. You may reach a point where you can no longer remember your own preferences, desires, or dreams. Who are you, really? Your authentic voice and your true self become lost beneath a lifetime of external influences. You stare into the mirror and wonder, with heartbreakingly honest confusion, who is this person looking back at me? And as if that weren't enough, these invisible strings attract even more harmful energy into your life. Users, manipulators, narcissists, emotional vampires, they flock to you because they sense your willingness or trained response to put their needs before your own. They capitalize on your compassion, draining your energy until you're running on empty. But here's the empowering truth you must hold on to. Your soul is sovereign. No one, absolutely no one, can access or control it unless you permit them to. You have the profound power to cut those strings, to reclaim your rightful agency and rediscover your beautiful, vibrant, authentic self hidden beneath the layers of conditioning. Breaking free isn't easy, but it's absolutely possible. With the right support, self-awareness, and courage, you can sever those ties and reclaim the life you deserve. The first step is knowing your soul was never theirs. It has always belonged solely to you. Let's keep diving deeper into this powerful journey of reclaiming our sovereignty. It's all about consciously recognizing those subtle, sneaky patterns and bravely asking ourselves, whose voice is this really? When we begin to pause, reflect, and peel back those layers of conditioning, manipulation, and external expectation, we start uncovering our own authentic truth, the voice that's been patiently waiting beneath all those invisible strings. The most critical first step in reclaiming your sovereignty is self-awareness, recognizing and openly acknowledging that there's an issue needing attention or help. It's courageous and empowering to admit you're tangled up in these invisible strings, because awareness itself begins to loosen their grip. Next, nurture the genuine desire to heal and find answers. This desire acts as a powerful fuel to keep you moving forward, even when the journey gets challenging. Reach out to professional psychologists or therapists who specialize in trauma, CPTSD, and emotional healing. They can safely validate your thoughts and feelings, helping you navigate the complicated terrain of reclaiming your identity and voice. Remember, it's okay, even courageous, to ask for guidance from professionals who can offer tools and strategies to unravel the deeper layers of programming. Understand that it takes dedicated, ongoing work to deprogram your mind, heart, and body. Commit to this journey with compassion, patience, and determination. Explore healing programs and support systems that resonate with you, whether it's therapy, mindfulness practices, energy healing, somatic work, or a combination of these. And above all else, never stop learning, especially learning to recognize the patterns in others that placed you here in the first place. Knowledge is power, and recognizing manipulative behaviors or toxic patterns in people around you is key to protecting yourself from becoming entangled again. Continue to practice saying those tiny, brave no's. Every small boundary rebuilds your voice, piece by piece. Part of reclaiming your sovereignty also means reparenting yourself, offering the compassion, encouragement, and validation you always deserved. Curate your environment intentionally to match your new freedom and empowerment. Surround yourself with supportive energy that celebrates your authenticity and encourages continued growth. Remember, reclaiming sovereignty is not a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery and healing. But each brave step forward is an affirmation of your worth and your right to live authentically and freely. You've got this, and your soul is guiding you every step of the way. It's genuinely challenging not to feel buried beneath the weight of expectations, isn't it? From a young age, countless invisible strings pull at us, silently whispering demands: be this, act like that, I know what's best for you, or even, these are the dreams you're allowed to pursue. Before we realize it, we've shaped our lives around checklists handed to us by others, losing sight of our own truths along the way. At some point, though, we must pause, courageously step back and truly ask ourselves, am I living authentically? Am I genuinely myself? Or am I still checking off boxes someone else handed me? Authentic living isn't selfish, and it's certainly not narcissistic. It's about self-awareness, the profound honesty of tuning into our own feelings, values, and deepest desires. It's about recognizing those critical moments when external forces are pulling us away from our true selves and gently, yet firmly, choosing to realign with our own inner compass. Here's the truth we all need to embrace. It's not just okay to break free from those invisible strings. It's absolutely necessary. When you step fully into your authenticity, you bring a unique and powerful perspective to the world, one that only you can offer. You become more genuine, fulfilled, joyful, and empowered, and your example inspires those around you to bravely do the same. Let's commit to reflecting deeply, honestly, and compassionately on how we can release those expectations and obligations that no longer serve our highest good. Let's ask ourselves the hard, courageous questions. Who am I beneath all these expectations? What do I truly want and believe in? This journey may not be easy, but every step toward authenticity brings greater freedom, deeper joy, and profound peace. That kind of authentic living is not only achievable, it's deeply, unquestionably worth striving for. Because in the end, living true to ourselves isn't just a gift to us, it's a gift to the entire world. All right, beautiful souls, we've covered a lot of ground in today's episode. Now it's time to bring it all together and anchor these truths deeply into our lives. Remember, the essential key to cutting those invisible strings that have held us captive for far too long is to commit to never giving up, no matter how tough things get. Yes, we all face challenges, setbacks, and moments when the journey toward freedom feels overwhelming. But here's the truth. You hold an immense and powerful capacity within you to overcome, heal, and reclaim your sovereignty. Embracing true freedom means taking courageous control over your own life, making empowered decisions rooted in your authentic desires, and no longer being swayed by expectations or limitations imposed by others. It's about courageously letting go of limiting beliefs, outdated patterns, and toxic programming, and stepping into the empowered, radiant truth of who you genuinely are. You deserve a life free from invisible strings and full of choices that align with your highest good. So as we wrap up today, I want you to hold on to this deeply. You have everything within you to break free from whatever has held you back. Keep believing in yourself, trusting your inner wisdom, and choosing your authenticity. Never give up on your journey toward freedom, healing, and empowerment, because the life you truly desire and deserve is absolutely within your reach. Keep striving, keep healing, and keep courageously cutting those invisible strings, one brave decision at a time. You are powerful, capable, and you've got this. I'm right here with you, cheering you on every step of the way. And that wraps up today's powerful episode of Cutting the Invisible Strings. As we part ways today, hold this truth close to your heart. You were never meant to be someone's puppet. You weren't created merely to perform, conform, or please. You were created to think independently, choose freely, feel deeply, and live authentically. You were born sovereign, a beautiful being capable of incredible strength, wisdom, and inner freedom. Remember, reclaiming your life isn't something far away. You've already begun this courageous journey by simply being here today. My hope is that you found valuable insights, validation, and encouragement in our discussion. Keep nurturing your inner liberation. It's a daily practice. Honor your own voice, stand firmly in your truth, and always trust your intuition. The authentic life you're creating is your birthright, and you deserve every bit of joy, freedom, and fulfillment it brings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself, keep nurturing your freedom, and know you're never alone on this journey. Goodbye for now, beautiful souls.